We bring you the lunch edition of MBC News with me, Romeo Umari. Coming up this afternoon. Government commits to continue supporting youth-led innovations and skills development to address unemployment. Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, announces a 40% fuel price hike. And in international news, Mozambican authorities says they are assessing the magnitude of damage caused by illicit floods which have killed over 100 people in that country. In our first story, the Ministry of Finance has committed to continue supporting youth-led innovations and skills development that will help address high levels of unemployment in the country. Minister of Finance Joseph Mwanamveka said this during a 2026-2027 National Budget Youth Engagement Session, which took place in Lero. Mwanamveka added that the government is aware of the challenges young people are going through, hence the need to develop a youth-responsive national budget. Details in this report.
The 2026-2027 National Budget consultations took a new turn on Monday when the National Youth Council of Malawi, in partnership with the Ministry of Finance, engaged young people to hear their concerns and aspirations for the new fiscal year. One of the young person, who is also a monitoring and evaluation officer at the National Youth Council of Malawi, Doreen Chilije, described the engagement as fruitful. Chilije, however, pointed out that young people continue to face numerous challenges in their pursuit for a better life.
Youth are hunting for jobs. Youth are looking for startup capital so that they are able to run businesses on their own. But this has proven as a high challenge, because even for youth to access, let's say, loans through banks, the fees that come with those loans, they are so high. So this leaves youth idle and stranded, and then they have nowhere to run to.
Even though he highlighted the high public debt burden as well as forex issues as some of the key challenges the country is facing, Minister of Finance Joseph Mwanamveka commended the youths for their meaningful engagement, pointing out that government will put in place various interventions that will support youth transformation.
So we need to empower them so that they have to have the skills to do other works that can make them productive and add more value to our economy. So that's what I've taken note. So it's about innovation. We need to, there was an issue about research. We need to help them in terms of research, in terms of actual funding, and also make sure that we empower the youth so that they should not be doing other activities that may jeopardize their future.
The Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Decentralization is next month expected to present a new fiscal plan that will help support macroeconomic stability, job creation, as well as wealth creation in line with Malawi 2063. Trust Office, MBC News, Lero.
Government has assured that it will incorporate some of the projects in the abandoned $350 million Millennium Challenge Account Compact. Last year, U.S. President Donald Trump gave an order to close down some foreign aid agencies, including a Millennium Challenge Corporation, citing his administration's efforts to reduce federal spending, especially on overseas development projects. The development affected Malawi's second compact projects, a development which has sent Capitol Hill into resource hunting to ensure continuity of infrastructure developments. Speaking to MBC, Minister of Finance Joseph Mwanamveka said the issue is on the table as he formulates the 2026-2027 national budget. Mwanamveka explains.
As government, we will try as much as possible to cover where we have lost money by withdrawal of the U.S. government on the Millennium Challenge, on the Global Fund, as well as on the USAID projects. We'll make sure that in the budget we'll partly cover some of these things so that people should not feel the pain of the withdrawal of those resources.
The Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, has effected a 40% fuel price hike. According to a statement signed by board chairperson Lucas Kondoe, the landed cost for both the petrol and diesel have surpassed the 5% trigger, prompting the authority to enforce an upward adjustment of the two fuels. Now, Mangochi District Health Office says it is on high alert against a cholera outbreak after one suspected case in the district came out negative. Chief Preventive Health Officer for Mangochi District Council, Zomwe, said that the District Health Office is working hand in hand with community structures by putting in place measures to preventing the outbreak. This follows reports that the country has now recorded over 200 cholera cases since the onset of the 2025-2026 rainy season. Francis Banda spoke to Zomwe.
Here in Mangochi, so far I think we have no confirmed cholera case. We only had a suspect, but after conducting the testing, the suspect came out to be negative. So I think for this year, for 2025, and up to this time, we don't have any cholera cases here in Mangochi. But I think the last time that we had the cholera cases was in 2024, whereby we registered around 30 cases around the Makanjira area, but we did not have any death. So I think currently that's the current situation here in the district. Currently we are conducting a number of interventions in order for us to prevent the occurrence of the disease in the district. The first thing that we are doing, I think we are encouraging the communities to drink water that is safe through the provision of chlorine or HTH to them. So we know when the water is treated with HTH, the germs in the water are killed and the water is safe and the people are protected from the cholera disease. And at the same time, we also have our community health workers, the HSS, who are conducting a number of sensitization meetings as well as engagement meetings with the community structures such as the village health committees, the ADCs, the CHACs, with the aim of encouraging them to adopt and implement the strategies that might enable them to prevent from cholera disease.
Malawi Network of Older Persons Organizations, MANEPO, has emphasized the need to promote a human rights-based approach to aging in order to address the stereotypes and discrimination against older persons in the country. MANEPO Executive Director Andrew Gavala was speaking this in Mzuzu during a Voice, Ageism and Rights workshop aimed at strengthening older persons' rights and their access to justice in Malawi. Chimwemwe Milulu reports.
Considering the barriers old persons in the country face to meaningfully participate in economic and social life and fully access health care and justice, Malawi Network of Older Persons Organizations, MANEPO, has embarked on a 2-year project aimed at shifting the lens from charity or welfare to entitlement and inclusion, placing older persons at the center of policy, programming, and service delivery. Speaking in Mzuzu during a Voice, Ageism and Rights workshop, MANEPO's Executive Director Andrew Gavala said applying a human rights-based approach can help to strengthen the rights of older persons as rights holders and duty bearers to meet their obligations to respect, protect, and fulfill older persons' rights.
We should support older persons access justice in various ways. We want to see their cases move in courts and be concluded. Though access to justice is too broad, would be looking at even their cases at the community level. Are they being reported? What happens if they are reported? And how is the system responsive to their cases? And at the same time, we are also putting in place a very strong grievance redress mechanisms here in the north, in the south, and in the central. All we are looking forward to is to support government implement the Older Persons Act, which in essence would support the creating of an enabling environment for every Malawian, regardless of age.
Among others, the 2024 Malawi Older Persons Act was elaborated to the workshop participants, who included representatives from the Zuzu-based older persons groups, civil society organizations, police, the judiciary, Zuzu City Council, and the media. Chimwemwe Milulu, MBC News Mzuzu.
The Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, has moved in to justify its decision to effect a 40% fuel price increase. Addressing the press in Lilongwe, the authority's chief executive officer, Nkhani, said the landed costs for both petrol and diesel have surpassed the 5% trigger, prompting the authority to enforce an upward adjustment of the two fuels. Nkhani says the country has been losing millions to non-local demand fuel purchases owing to the use of cosmetic pricing mechanism, which affected the government's fuel procurement and availability. Effective today, petrol is selling at 4,965 kwacha per litre, while diesel is priced at 4,945 kwacha per litre. This is MBC News, a reminder of our top stories. Government commits to continue supporting youth-led innovations and skills development to address unemployment. Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, announces a 40% fuel price hike. Mozambican authorities says they are assessing the magnitude of damage caused by recent floods, which have killed over 100 people in that country. World Bank has tipped sub-Sahara African nations, including Malawi, to remove trade barriers and strengthen reform implementation if sustainable growth is to be achieved this year. The latest World Bank Global Economic Prospects report projects growth in sub-Saharan African nations at 4.3% in 2026 and 4.7% in 2027, supported by stronger investments and exports. Zomwe reports.
Although the World Bank's global economic outlook is painting prospects for the year as a mixed bag, there are significant movements that are on the cards. The report projects global growth to remain steady between now and 2027 at 2.6% in 2026, with an anticipation of a rise to 2.7% next year. Growth in developing economies is expected to slow to 4% before rising to 4.1% in 2027, owing to eased trade tensions, stable commodity prices, improved financial conditions, and strengthening investment flows. However, locally, the Treasury is projecting a 3.8% growth of the economy, owing to easing of inflationary pressures as headline inflation has started to fall, moving from 28% in the third quarter of 2025 to 26% as of now. While making all these projections, the Bretton Woods Institution has encouraged sub-Saharan African nations to work on a number of risk areas, key being trade. World Bank's group economist Endemit Gill has since underscored that to avert stagnation and joblessness, development economies must aggressively liberalize private investment and trade, rein in public consumption, and invest in new technologies and education. Zomwe, MBC News, Blantyre.
Malawi University of Business and Applied Sciences, MUBUS, is holding discussions with some of the country's financial institutions, including the World Bank, to potentially invest into the university's accommodation crisis. The university's Vice-Chancellor, Zachitika, disclosed this to MBC during an orientation for incoming first-year students under the 2025-2026 cohort in Blantyre, which has a total of 3,117 students. More in this report.
Mobus already has a population of over 12,000 students, of which almost half are forced to seek accommodation off campus, making it financially hard for the students, and some are forced to withdraw. The university's Vice-Chancellor, Nancy Chitera, says with the introduction of double intake in January and August annually, the school needs to invest more in the students' accommodation. Chitera says despite the university planning to build a 6-story building, it is not enough to cater for all students enrolled at the university.
We know that we cannot provide enough for the government from the government hostels, but engaging and utilizing the private hostel owners, whatever, so that they meet those particular standards, we should be able to accommodate the students. We are engaging the private investors, we are engaging different banks. So the moment these are done, we should be able to put up structures on campus and outside campus.
Sally Rashid is one of the students that has been enrolled under the 2025-2026 intake and says she is excited to further her studies at Mobus.
I just want to inspire them, not really inspire them, but then tell them that they should work hard. Whatever they're going through, they just have to work hard and get good points and come here because it's a great experience. I know it's going to be worth it.
The university's 2023-2024 intake had about 1,800 students, and the 2025-2026 intake consists 3,117 students, which is almost double and coincides with the university's plan to increase its population to 30,000 by 2030. Evelis Chingambe, MBC News.
In sports, Mukuru Money Transfer Company says its Under-21 Netball Cup is not only aimed at developing netball in the country, but also building leadership skills among youthful players that will benefit the nation in the future. More in this report.
Mukuru Malawi launched the Mukuru Under-21 Netball Cup in November 2025 with its official unveiling ceremony held in Lilongwe as part of a larger 675 million kwacha 3-year sponsorship agreement with the Netball Association of Malawi, NAM. The sponsorship is aimed at promoting netball by identifying and nurturing talent from the grassroots across the country. Speaking during the Northern Region finals of the Mukuru Under-21 Netball Cup, Mukuru Malawi sales lead Betha Mpunga said the tournament is not only helping to promote the sport, but is also empowering young women with different leadership skills for the benefit of the nation.
You know, women are the backbone of the economy. And as Mukuru, that's something that we also recognize. These young ladies gaining those skills, we know that they will take them and they will emulate that in our economy as well. They will lead, in whatever field they do, whether it's business, whether it's careers. That's something that they get to live with for the rest of their lives. So we, as Mukuru, are making a contribution towards that.
On her part, Vice General Secretary for the Netball Association of Malawi, NAM, Janet Chiumya, said the association is concerned about the continued problem of age cheating in different competitions.
Yesterday, we demanded some IDs from other players because we had doubts with them. But up to today, they did not bring the IDs. So that's why I stressed very well that we need only those who are under 21. Otherwise, they're not going to participate.
Northern Region Netball Committee General Secretary Ken Piri spoke of the need for the competition to start in districts as a way of curbing age cheating.
It will start right away from their homes where their parents are. So it will be very easy for, to screen these kids, unlike when they are here. Because as they are here at the region, sometimes it's not one team. Maybe they have beefed up, they have merged the team in order to come here. So that's why they are coming up with different ages.
During the finals, Muzimba Queens Reserve emerged champions after beating Moyale Sisters Reserve by 41-24 baskets and received 1 million kwacha. Moyale Sisters Reserve went away with 700,000 kwacha for emerging second. Chitipa Home Sisters Reserve pocketed 500,000 kwacha for finishing third, while Resource Reserve received 400,000 kwacha for finishing fourth. Meanwhile, Mzimba Queens Reserve, Moyare Sisters Reserve, and Chitipa Home Sisters Reserve have qualified for the national finals, where they will face teams from other regions. Rudovico Nyirenda, MBC News, Muzuzu.
In international news, Mozambican authorities say they are assessing the magnitude of damage caused by the recent floods, which have killed over 100 people and left many others homeless in that country. Speaking during the opening of the second extraordinary session of the Council of Ministers convened to assess the situation of the current rainy season in Maputo, Mozambican President Daniel Chapo said his government is working tirelessly in ensuring assistance to victims with emphasis on rescue operations, food and health support. The provinces of Gaza, Maputo and Nkhani are among the hardest hit, with over 200,000 people affected and thousands of houses destroyed. According to the World Food Programme, over 70,000 hectares of crops have been waterlogged, exacerbating food insecurity. And that is it from our newsroom this afternoon. A recap of our top stories before we leave. Government commits to continue supporting youth-led innovations and skills development to address unemployment. Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, announces a 40% fuel price hike. Mozambican authorities say they are assessing the magnitude of damage caused by recent floods, which have killed over 100 people in that country. You can keep up to date with our news coverage on our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You were with me, Romeo Umari. Many thanks for watching, and bye for now.
Of Malawi's development story, in line with our 2063 aspirations, is a community voice that engages duty bearers in meaningful conversations that empower and give hope.
For over 20 years, MBC's Development Broadcasting Unit, an arm of MBC, has worked with development partners in driving the change we all want to see.
With a network of over 100 radio listening clubs across Malawi, our team of experts use social and behavioral change communication to facilitate community-led transformation. From education, early childhood development, health, agriculture, climate change and human rights, we provide a platform that connects communities to solutions and partners to sustainable impact.
DBU collaborates with government ministries and departments, local and international partners in mobilizing communities, conducting advocacy and awareness campaigns. We also produce high-quality radio, TV and online content to engage, inform and inspire action. Join us by calling the following during working hours.